morning all my students. Today again we are discussing the same chapter, that is the chapter number 1, nutrition in plants. We are discussing the same chapter, chapter number 1, nutrition in plants, and that is for the class 7th. That is for the class 7th. I am writing them here. Okay. In my last lecture we have discussed some other modes of the nutrition for the plants, and in that particular series I have discussed first is the parasite, and second was the what was that? First is the parasite and second was the insectivorous plant. Insectivorous plant, it was same, the plants which are getting their nutrients from the insects, these are known as insectivorous plant, like Venus flytrap, and second was the pitcher plant. I have told you the whole mechanism about the pitcher plant, how it is converted, how the leaves are converted in form of the pitcher and they get their nutrients from the insects. And for the parasite, in my last lecture we have also discussed about the parasites. So what are the parasites? Parasites means they are not containing chlorophyll, that is the green pigment, and that is very much important for the preparation of the food, okay, which is known as the photosynthesis. So because they are not containing chlorophyll, and that's why what they do, they are just living on the another plants, and the plant wherever they are living, they are known as the host plant, and from there only they get their all the nutrients. For example, dodder, cuscuta, mistleto. Mistleto was the partial parasite. Why? Because it is partially depending upon the host plant. Meaning is that they are containing the chlorophyll, they have ability to produce their own food, but some of the raw materials like water and minerals they are getting from their host plant. So that was all about the parasites and the insectivorous plant. In the same series we are going to discuss here the third mode of the nutrition, and that is the saprotrophs. What are the saprotrophs? Look here, some of the plants are there, okay, some of the plants which derive or you can say obtain, which derive their food from the dead and decaying organic matter, from the dead and decaying remain of plants and animals, from the dead remains of plants and animals, and they are known as saprotrophs. Who are called saprotrophs? Saprotrophs are the kind of the plants which are getting their food from the dead remains of plants and animals, and this mode of the nutrition, it is known as saprotrophic mode of nutrition, okay, and their mode of the nutrition, this is known as saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Very easy definition. What are the saprotrophs? Saprotrophs are the plants. Saprotrophs are the plants which are getting their food from the dead remains of the plants and animals. This is the sufficient definition. And after that, their mode of the nutrition, because they are the saprotrophs, so that's why their mode of the nutrition, it is known as saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Sometimes these saprotrophs, they are also known by the another name saprophytes. They are also known by the another name saprophytes. Okay. So, and their mode of the nutrition, according to the saprophytes, these are called saprophytic mode of nutrition. See here, you have to remember only one name. If you are remembering only the saprotrophs, so the mode of the nutrition, it is known as saprotrophic mode of nutrition, and another name is saprophytes. So in this way, their mode of the nutrition, it is known as saprophytic mode of nutrition. Right now we have to see the examples. What are the example of these saprotrophs? First is the fungi. Fungi we have seen. Example, bread mold. Okay, the kind of the fungi which can see on the bread in form of the green color you can see. Sometimes you can see that particular fungi in the cloth also, in the leather material also. Okay, so fungi is the good example. Why? Because they are getting their food from the dead and decaying organic matter, from the dead remains of plants and animals. Second example is the mushroom. Mushroom is one of the common example. Okay, mushroom, sometimes it is also used as eatables in form of the vegetables. But how they get their food? They get their food from the dead and decaying organic matter. Number third is the bacteria. And we are not talking about all the bacteria here. We are talking about the special bacteria, that is the lactobacillus bacteria. that lactobacillus bacteria, it is present in the curd. Okay, because of the lactobacillus bacteria, they actually convert the milk into the curd. So 3 example we have to remember. And what are the saprotrophic mode of nutrition? It is very much clear in our mind right now. Next mode of the nutrition is the symbiotic. Our 4th mode of nutrition is the symbiotic. What are the symbiotic? What are the symbiotic here? Look. Let me read the definition first. 2 plants which live together. 2 plants which are living together as a part of some plant. As a part of some plant. Meaning is that 2 plants, they are living together, but they are also coming under the part of some particular plant, and mutually means mutual understanding, help each other. They are helping each other requirements. Means for example, 2 friends are there, and they, by the mutual understanding, they are helping each other. Somebody is giving something to somebody, and somebody is giving some another thing to somebody. Means they are just fulfilling their requirements. So such kind of the mode of the nutrition in which 2 plants, they are living together as a part of the some plant, and by the mutual understanding they are helping each other. So such kind of the mode of the nutrition, their mode of the nutrition, it is known as, such kind of the plants, they are known as symbionts. The 2 plants which are participating in such particular relation, these are known as symbionts. Again, let me repeat the definition, little complex it is. The 2 plants which are living together as a part of the some plant, and what they are doing, they are mutually, by the mutual understanding, they are helping each other, they are fulfilling each other's requirement. So such kind of the plants, they are known as symbionts, and their relationship and this particular relationship, it is known as symbiosis. Okay, relationship is known as symbiosis. The 2 plants which are doing this particular activity, they are known as symbionts, and the mode of the nutrition, their mode of the nutrition, it is known as symbiotic mode of nutrition. So there are the 3 things. Mode of the nutrition, it is known as symbiotic mode of nutrition. Actually the plants which are participating in this particular relation, and they are sharing the things in between these 2, they are known as symbionts. Okay, and there this relationship, the relationship by which they are helping each other, this relationship is known as symbiosis. So nothing, with the example, things will be very much clear to you. See here what is happening. I have taken the example of the lichen. Actually lichen, inside the lichen, the 2 plants are again living. What was the definition? You can see the 2 plants which are living together. What are the 2 plants here? Like alga and fungus, and as a part of the some plant, and they both are living inside the lichen. Means alga and fungus, these both are the symbionts, because they are living together and they are living as a part of the another plant. What is the part of the another plant? Meaning is that lichen. They both are living under the lichen, and what they are doing actually, look here. Actually the fungus is providing the water, mineral, shelter for what? For the alga. And what is the alga? Alga is the green plant. This is for the preparation of the food. So they both are just fulfilling each other's requirement. Actually fungus is providing the raw materials like water, mineral and shelter for the alga, and with the help of this raw material, what the alga is doing here? Alga is preparing the food. Because the alga is the green plant, it has the capacity to produce food, because it is also containing the chlorophyll. So in this way they both are helping each other. Fungus is providing this kind of the things to the alga, and after the preparation of the food, alga is giving food to the fungus. So fungus is getting food and alga is getting the raw materials from the fungus. So such kind of the mutual relationship, it is known as symbiosis. And these 2 plants which are doing this, they are known as the symbionts, and they are this mode of the nutrition, it is known as symbiotic mode of nutrition. And right now it is very much clear for you. Right now we are discussing about the types of the nutrients. Again and again we all are knowing that actually the plants require, for example, we also require some kind of the nutrients for the growth of our body development, like carbohydrate, protein, vitamin, minerals, water, roughage. In the same fashion, in the same way, plants also require so many kinds of the nutrients. and which are also helpful and growth, which is very much helpful and important for the growth of the plants. So what kind of the, actually these kind of the nutrients, these are classified in the two categories. First is the macronutrients and second is the micronutrients. First is the macronutrients and second is the micronutrients. Right now see the definition here. I have written macronutrients means large amount. What is the meaning by this? Large amount means the kind of the nutrients which are present in the larger amount on the soil surface. The kind of the nutrients which are present in the larger amount on the soil surface, these are known as macronutrients. For example, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, you can say. Second category is the micronutrients, the kind of the nutrients which are present in the smaller quantity on the soil surface. Just opposite of it. The kind of the nutrients which are present in the smaller quantity on the soil surface. Otherwise, you can say the kind of the nutrients which are required in very small quantity for the plant growth. These are considered as the micronutrient. Okay. What are the good examples of the micronutrient? For example, iron you can say, copper you can say, zinc you can say, sulfur you can say. So this kind of the nutrients, these are present in the smaller quantity and the plants require in the smaller quantity of this. So these are considered as a micronutrient. Only one topic is left, that is the replenishment of the nutrients in the soil. Okay, that we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.